You ready for me
I'm
to lay it
ready
on
for
you?
you to lay it on me.
I need to lay it on myself.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Okay, it's good to see you all today. Day. Take a breath with me. And I'd like you to remind yourself that this is not a church service. This is a class. All right, so try to remember that when we kick into this. We're just here to have a good time and also remember some truth. Is there anybody in here that knows everything? So, okay, I just wanted to check in and make sure that there might be a part of us that might still be open to something. Also, another definition of new is different. So when a person says they're ready to hear something new, what they're really saying is that they're ready to hear something different. So even though people will say they're open-minded and they're ready to hear something new, they don't mean that they're ready to hear something different. And if it's different from what you believe, it's a good possibility that you'll have some resistance to what you hear because it's different from what you already believe. So if I do my job right, then you're going to feel some resistance from time to time, and you'll also feel cool from time to time, and sometimes you'll be checked out and you'll be in Arabia somewhere from time to time, and that's okay too. So the only, and not that I think there's anything uncool about church service, but I don't know about you, but a lot of times when people get in their mind like they're in a church service, then they immediately go into a mode of thinking that means they have to be very quiet and reserved, even though it was anything like that in the Southern Black church that I grew up in. But I just thought I would say that. And the only rules of A Course in Miracles, because I see a lot of new faces, some new faces today, is that you need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. Some of the ideas, you don't even have to welcome it. Some of it you're going to find hard to believe, and some of it you're going to find quite startling. You're not asked to judge the ideas. What you find out is if you use the ideas, you'll find that the ideas are true. The Course in Miracles is, a miracle is nothing but a right perception, a correct perception, a loving perception. So when you hear Course in Miracles, it's a course in how to have correct perception, loving perception. It's basically saying if we have a correct perception, it's a miracle. That's why it's called A Course in Miracles. If we see things correctly, it's a friggin' miracle. Okay, yeah. If I see things in a loving way consistently, that's a miracle. If I'm not judging, that's a miracle. And so I'm going to go a little bit. I'm going to repeat the guidelines for the Course in Miracles just for a few minutes, just to kind of get everybody centered in. You need not believe it. You need not accept it. You need not welcome it. So I'd like to ask you to just breathe. Take a breath. Take a breath, just relax and take a breath and remember that you need not believe the ideas. You need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. And some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. And some of the ideas are going to be quite startling. I say some of the ideas are going to be quite startling. You're going to say, what the hell? I can't believe he said that. Some of the ideas are going to be quite startling. You are entitled to miracles. That means that you are entitled to love. Hear that. You are entitled to miracles. That means you are entitled to love. I am entitled to miracles. I say I am entitled to miracles. I say I am entitled to miracles. I say I am. So anybody that doesn't mind saying it out loud, let's go. I am entitled to miracles. Say what? I am entitled to miracles. What you say? I am entitled yourself. I am entitled to miracles. Now you break it up by saying, I am juicy and sweet.
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 I am luscious and lovable. I'm luscious and lovable. I'm juicy and sweet.
I'm juicy and sweet.
I am loving and lovable.
Loving and lovable.
I am loving. Come on, who don't mind getting in there with me? Loving
and lovable.
I am loving and lovable. I am loving and lovable. Now here's the big truth I'm going to claim is I am sustained by the love of God. 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 Say what? I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love of God. I am sustained by the love. Now let's let the past go. The past is over. It can touch me not. The past is over. It can touch me not. Let it go. The past is over. It can touch me not. The past is over. It can touch me not. I let it go. 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 I let the past 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 go. I let the past. This is what I'm going to do next. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the. Now what does that mean? It means I place my future in the hands of love. I place my future in the hands of love. I place my future in the hands of love. I place my future in the hands of. You know what else? Abundance is my natural state. I say abundance is my natural state. Look at somebody and say it and freak yourself out. Abundance is my natural state. I say, abundance is my natural state. Are you willing? Are you willing? I go, abundance is my natural state. Abundance is my natural state. Woo! Abundance is my natural state. Claim it for yourself one more time. Abundance is my natural state. Now this is going to be a hard one to go. I deserve to be paid for having fun. I deserve to be paid for having fun. Say what? I deserve to be paid for having fun. I deserve to be paid for having fun. I am entitled to miracles. Say what? I am entitled to miracles. Say what? I am entitled to miracles. Woo! I am entitled. Now you want to take a breath, and go. Would you acknowledge yourself that you continue to be here on that? If you got the book, I'm going to be on page 217. We're talking about the judgment of love. Like how a loving mind judge stuff. How does a mind that actually knows what love is judge what's going on? The loving part of your mind, the Course in Miracles calls the Holy Spirit. That's merely the part of your mind that's still in touch with the truth about you, that you are love. That's what you are. It's not what you try to get. It's not what you try to do. It's what you are. And the paragraph that I'm starting with is paragraph 9 on page 217. And it says, fear is a symptom of your own deep sense of loss. So when you're feeling like you're losing, you feel Fear.
Fear.
If you perceive it in others and you learn to supply the laws, the basic cause of fear is removed. Thereby, you teach yourself that fear doesn't exist in you. The means for removing fear in you is in yourself. Do you know that the means for removing any fear that you feel inside is in yourself? And you have demonstrated this by giving it. Fear and love are the only emotions of which you are capable. The only emotions of which you are capable are the emotions of fear and love. Now, who can tell me a few other synonyms for fear? You know, what's another form that fear takes? Anger, depression,
Anxiety.
possession, anxiety, judgment, sickness. All of those, the courts would say, are concrete forms of fear. Love. Who can give us some examples of love?
Joy.
Joy is a great one.
Abundance.
Peace, abundance. What else? Prosperity. Happiness. Health. So the only thing I'm feeling, another great word for love is willingness. Have you ever noticed that when you're really feeling love in a situation or you're feeling love for somebody, the main thing you feel is a great sense of willingness. Sometimes you freaked out at just how willing you are. Sometimes you wonder, there's a little bit too much willingness going on. You know, it's almost impossible to resist what you want and you can have it. That's about one of the hardest things that anybody would ever have to resist. It's what you want and it's available. And so therefore, love is willingness and fear is resistance. So if I'm feeling fear, I'm feeling resistance. Wherever I'm feeling resistance in my life is where I'm feeling fear. Okay, so I'm only feeling willingness. Like right now, some of you may be feeling a willingness while you're here. Some of you may be feeling resistance while you're here. But notice that that's two different reactions to the exact same situation, which means that you're the one that's creating the feeling that you have about being right here, right now. It has nothing to do with me. Okay, it's you creating how you feel right now, being here with me right now, not me. Okay, now then it goes on to say one is false. Which emotion is false?
Fear.
Fear. All right, because when you feel fear, fear is made out of your denial of love. So when I'm feeling fear, I'm denying the love that's present, but I'm choosing not to know it. So if you're feeling fear, you're denying that you're surrounded by love. I always have to remember when I feel separate from people that it means I am not receiving what I am not giving. So if I don't feel connected to you, it's me not giving you the love. It has nothing to do with you not giving it to me. I'm the one that's shut down. So the Course in Miracles then goes on to say, if you do deny anything, your denial depends on the belief in what you are denying for its existence. So if I'm denying love, there must be love to deny. If I'm denying my abundance, there must be abundance to deny. So if I'm denying God, that there's a creator within me, then I'm actually witnessing to the fact I believe in it. Because you can't deny something unless it exists. So denial means that it exists, but I'm choosing not to know that it exists. Are you with me on that?
Sure.
Okay, so if I'm denying love right now, does that mean that there is no love? No, it just means I'm choosing to acknowledge that love is available for me. Okay, the next thing that it says is by interpreting fear correctly. So what is a correct interpretation of your fear? Like if you're feeling fear about something right now, what would be the correct interpretation of your fear? The Course in Miracles says, actually, if you look at fear correctly, fear is actually a positive affirmation. Fear is actually a positive affirmation of the underlying belief that it masks. In other words, if I look at fear correctly as the denial of love, then when I feel fear, what I'm really doing is affirming there must be some love that I'm denying right now. So instead of telling a person I'm afraid of them, I would tell the person, right now I'm denying the love that could be between us right now. Right now I'm denying the love that I could feel for you right now. I feel afraid. I'm upset with you right now means I'm denying the peace that we could have right now. So it would be more positive to say, you know what's going on? I'm having a denial of love for you right now. And we need to talk about it. Because I'm denying the love that I feel for you right now. But we would call it what? Fear. I'm feeling afraid. I'm feeling some resistance with you right now. Take a breath. Because in the Course in Miracles class, there is a tendency to stop breathing. You'd be amazed. Almost an hour would have passed by and you wouldn't have taken a breath and you'd be turning blue and you don't really know what's going on. It has that kind of effect. You go. Then the next thing that it says, and if you follow me, you know I'm just going in the book. So it says, you are undermining fear's perceived usefulness by rendering fear useless. So how do you render your fear useless? You render your fear useless by interpreting your fear correctly. So what would be interpreting your fear correctly? To be admitting to yourself that your fear is nothing but a positive affirmation that you know love exists, but you're denying it. So if the purpose of fear is to deny love and to hide the love, but you use fear as a reminder that love is actually there, but you're denying it, then you have effectively rendered fear useless. Because if the purpose of fear was to make you forget the love, and you're using fear to remind you of love, then the fear that you have has no point. So you've undermined the fear, which is good news. Because the thing that most people say they feel is they're afraid of this, and they're upset about this, and they're feeling fear about this, and they're not feeling peace about that. What do I do with that? What I need to do with that is reinterpret it. I need to tell the truth about what my fear is. Fear is the denial of love. It's just a denial of love. I'm denying my willingness. I'm denying my love right now. That's what I'm feeling. So if the purpose of fear is to actually make me forget the love, and I'm using fear to be a positive affirmation that there must be some love, I'm just not seeing it right now, then my fear is useless. Now, what's the point of knowing that? The point of knowing that is defenses that do not work at all are automatically discarded by the mind. So, I'll say it again. If fear is a defense against love, and I use fear to remind me of love, then fear no longer has no purpose in the mind.
It's productive.
So the minute that your mind gets that your fear is reminding you of love instead of your fear making you forget love, the mind will automatically start discarding fear automatically. Now, the thing about the Course in Miracles is that it gives answers to the questions that all of us ask. What did I do with my fear? How do I get rid of my upset? We just heard it. We actually just heard it. And because it might not be what you thought of, or it might not be the way you think it should be handled, then the mind will go, well, what did you do? What do you do with fear? What do you do with fear? Who can tell me, based on what I just said, in your own words? What is fear? It's a denial of?
Denial of love, so you use it to say, okay, well, this must be that I'm denying love, but there is love that exists, so how can I?
Thank you. Well, you were absolutely right. Don't be timid. Say it to me one more time so I can hear it, because I'm learning what I'm teaching, so I need it back too.
All right. So if you're feeling fear, it means that there is love present, but you're just distant from it. So the question is, how can you find your way back to the love?
Well, the way that you find your way back to the love is to recognize that the fear is a witness that love is actually there, but I am denying it. And so once I start doing that and say, I'm feeling a denial of love, 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 right? Well, what creates your reality? Your thoughts.
Yes, people have to talk.
What creates your reality?
Thoughts.
Right. So your consciousness creates your reality. Right. So the thoughts that you focus on, would those be the thoughts that would create your experience?
Yes.
Yes. So then if I want to change my experience, I need to change my thoughts. Okay, so if I started to say all day long, especially if I'm a scary, frightened, upset person, and I say it all day long, boy, I'm feeling another denial of love. I'm feeling another denial of love. I'm feeling a denial of love with my mate. I'm feeling a denial of love with my boss. I'm feeling a denial of love with my parents. I'm feeling a denial of love. That's the same as saying fear and upset. So what you're saying all day is love, 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 denial of love. Denial of love. Oh, I'm feeling another denial. Oh, I looked at my bank account. I'm feeling another denial of love. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling what? A denial of love. So what's the thought that you're increasing in your consciousness?
Love.
Love. So all day long you're going love, 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 love. If you're a particularly depressed person, you are really positively affirming all day long. Right? So the more upset you are, the more you are denying love. And what creates your reality is what you focus on, right? So if you're focusing on love, 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 you're increasing your consciousness of love. So you start to attract more love. You start to see more love. I wish I could make it more difficult than that, but it's not more difficult than that. It's a matter of, do I want to look at it differently?
Right.
That's the only issue right now. This is another way you can look at it. If you use it, you'll see that it works. Because your mind will automatically discard fear the once you recognize that fear is nothing but a positive affirmation that you know love is present and you're just not feeling it right now. You're just not knowing it right now. So you're actually increasing your awareness of love, which would increase the experience of love in your life. Woo! So if you raise what fear conceals to clear-cut, unequivocal predominance, so what is fear concealing? Love. And I want to raise that to what? I love this, clear-cut, unequivocal predominance. He says if you do that, your fear will become meaningless to you. If I put love as the most predominant idea that I want to focus on, which is the same as saying freedom,
Yes.
which is the same as saying peace,
Yes.
which is the same as saying joy, which is the same as saying my happiness, my connection to source, as the most important thing in my life, my fears will become meaningless to me. And you would have denied the power of fear to conceal love, and the only purpose of fear is to conceal love. So if you're remembering what your fear is trying to hide, then you are denying the power of your fear. That's the veil. Your fear is the veil that you have drawn across the face of love, and it will disappear. Your fear will disappear if you reinterpret your fear as the denial of my freedom, the denial of my peace. I'm feeling the denial of my love. I'm feeling you look at your bank account and you're going, oh, I see the denial of abundance. Instead of saying I'm broke. I'm denying the abundance that is my divine right, and it's taking the form of how in the heck am I going to pay my MasterCard? I'm wondering how. This is very true. You use the truth and it will change everything. Any questions, any comments about that paragraph? Yes.
So in other words then, when I have a fear of not being accepted, I'm just denying the acceptance that's already there.
And that you're blocking because you're choosing to be afraid, which means you're choosing not to see. One of the biggest breakthroughs for me was when I really got that the only thing that's missing in any situation is what I'm not giving. The only thing is, if I walk into a situation and I say people are unfriendly, I'm not friendly. I'm the one that's sitting up there waiting for everybody to come say something to me. You know, people are attracted to me. You're not being attracted to other people. The easiest way in the world to, like if I go into a situation where I don't know anybody, the first thing I do is start walking around saying, hello, I'm Earl. What's your name? Glad to meet you. You know, glad you're here. Because I don't want to be around strangers. That's why at the beginning of the class, you know, I want to put some funk out there. I want to feel some connection. I want to feel some energy. Because I'm free. I can be any way I want to be in a minute. And it doesn't matter the way you are. That doesn't have anything to do with the way I can express myself. And when I began to realize that, my life became more joyful. Because most people are so self-absorbed, they don't give a hoot about what you're doing anyway. It's only your own ego that makes you think anybody else freaking cares.
Yeah.
Can you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most people are focused in on their own personal life and their own personal experience and the special relationships that they have within that experience. Outside of that, you just a blip on the radar. Oh, wow, okay. and they're moving on. So, but once you realize that how free you are, free because people don't care, and free because those who love you do care, then you start to express yourself the way you want to express yourself, and you really see the only thing that's missing is what you're not giving, and everything you've been wanting you could give yourself today if you make a decision to start giving what you want to receive, and if you make a decision to go, I'm feeling uncomfortable, so I'm denying the peace that I can have in this room right now.
And so by merely just recognizing that it's my responsibility, that I'm denying it, it begins to shift it?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. Because everything that's happening to us in our life only has one purpose: to get us to the point that we'll turn within and look for completion and truth and love within ourselves. So we always have things, you'll have things crash and burn in your outer world until one day you go, my happiness comes from me, it doesn't come from anybody else. And everything in our lives is showing up to get us to turn to source, which you can call God if you like, or the love within us. That's the purpose of every problem you think you have. That's the purpose of everything that's upsetting you right now, is so at one point you go, maybe I need to start looking at myself as having something to do with what's happening to me. Just maybe, maybe I'm the common denominator in everything that's happening in my life right now. You know, because I've been wherever I have been. I was the one that was there. Who's the common denominator in every relationship that you've ever had? Who's the common denominator in every relationship you've ever had? Who? Me. Who's the common denominator in every job you've ever had that you didn't like nobody? You.
So this is utilizing fear as an ally.
That's right. All of a sudden, fear becomes the very thing that reminds me of the love that I've been denying, that I need to become conscious of, because whatever I'm conscious of is what I create in my reality.
Right.
It's whatever I focus on is what I create in my life. My life is a result of my focus. Your life is the result of your focus. Everything that's going on in your life right now is going on because of what you're focusing on right now. And there's not but two things you can focus on: love or fear, oneness or separation, peace or conflict, lack or abundance. That's the same. Those are the same two choices: willingness and resistance. Isn't that simple? There's two things, only two things I'm experiencing at any given moment, and whichever one I focus on is the one I'm going to experience. So how do I make everything I do all day an opportunity to experience love all day? Well, I see everything all day as what? Love or call for love. Love of me denying love. Love of me denying love. Love, 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 love. Because that's the core thought, isn't it? Love, love, denial of love, love, denial of love, love, denial of love, 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 love. So that's all you're hearing all day. Love, 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 love. Person give you a finger. Give you the finger in traffic. Oh, the denial of love. Isn't that great? Next time a person give you the finger in traffic, go, thank you. Oh, man, I'm remembering love because of you.
Totally.
So,
I mean, yeah.
Is it then the form of love called anger?
Yes.
It says in the Course, anger is never justified because it's really a denial of love.
Right. The reason why anger is never justified, not saying you won't ever feel it, but anger is never justified because you're the one that's always making yourself angry. Anger is never caused by anybody else. Anger is always caused by your reaction to what someone is doing. The meaning that you're giving to something or someone is what's making you angry. So the more accurate perception of anger would be, I'm making myself angry about what you're doing right now. I'm making myself angry because, and all anger is nothing but you're not acting out my script. All anger is nothing but I'm trying to make you feel guilty. I'm trying to make you feel so guilty you do what I want you to do. You low down, no good dog. Okay, you're right, I am. I'll do better, I promise. See, how many of you have ever used anger to try to manipulate or control another person? And if you didn't raise your hand, we know you do it too. Okay, so that's all right. We got 100% participation in my class. Everybody's equally insane in here.
Yeah.
And broken into by periods in which they go to a movie. Yeah.
And, in the middle of heated battle, when you do come to your senses and remember, it can be seen as even bigger attack by the other person because now you're taking a breath. And what does it not matter that I'm you know, you're trying to stop things. Now it's like, oh, let me come back to my senses, and you know, well, let's all take a breath or whatever you say, and the other person is now really ready to kill you because it's like.
It's called leaving. It's called walking away.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
And it's called get in your car and walk away, go to another room, close the door. You do not have to stay and allow yourself to be attacked by somebody who still wants to attack themselves. It takes two to keep an attack going. Mm-hmm. And everybody at some point on their spiritual path, they're going to have to get to the scariest moment on the spiritual path. And the scariest moment on the spiritual path is meeting attack without attack. So that you can stop the cycle of attack in your own experience. Because if what I'm attracting is coming from my own consciousness, and they're making me aware of my own attack thoughts, or it wouldn't be happening in the first place, then somebody's got to stop the attack if I want the attack to stop. So at some point, I've got to breathe, change my mind, walk away, don't attack back, so that I can stop that cycle in my own life. Now, the person that still wants to attack, they're going to continue to attract attack to themselves. Because that's what they want. Do you understand that people who attack all the time hate themselves, and because they hate themselves and they feel guilty, they're trying to attract punishment to themselves? Because when you feel guilty, you've been taught that you should be punished for being guilty. So at an unconscious level, people who attack people all the time are obviously people who want to be attacked. Because what could more surely guarantee that you're going to increase the possibility that somebody's going to knock your block off than you're always up in their face being angry and attacking? So a person that's doing that is really saying, attack me, attack me, attack me, attack me, attack me, attack me. When is somebody going to attack me? When is somebody, because I don't love myself, I hate myself, I don't think I'm enough. Maybe I learned I'm not enough. Maybe I learned that I'm stupid. Maybe I learned that I never deserved love. Well, I'm going to get that validated in my world. And I'm going to get that validated by doing things all the time that create attack for me, to validate what I feel. How do you get past that? Well, first of all, you have to make a decision for yourself that you want to be a means for peace. The next thing you do is forget about everybody else. Every time your mind comes with, well, what about what somebody else is doing? That's an excuse for you not to apply the truth to yourself. That's all that is. You're not ready to do it yet. So you're making unconsciously all about how the other people react. All I know is that when I made the decision that I wanted to be peaceful, 90% of the attack in my life dropped off. And at first, I was challenging myself because I was new to the idea of me being peaceful. So the part of me that didn't believe that was going to work attract people to try to prove to me that attack was going to still happen. So at first, when I was trying, just like at any time you're trying to make a major change, at the beginning of every time you're trying to make a major change, you're going to always set up situations and circumstances for the express purpose of making you continue to believe your old way of thinking is the best way to think, and you don't need to make that change. So when you're not ready to make a change, you're going to sabotage what you're trying to do so you can feel justified just to stay the way you always have been. And then you draw people to you who absolutely validate that you should stay just the way you've always been. But that's all stemming from you not making a decision to start to see the fear and the upset and the anger as a denial of love. You are not applying the truth to your own life and your own situation. That's why it hasn't changed. Have a nice day. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Sorry, in a class like this, the buck stops here. This is not a victim class. This is not if my mama was different, if my father was different, if my boyfriend was different, if my girlfriend was different, if I was in a different city in a different time, if something outside of myself, then I'd really be happy. This is not that kind of class. This class is about true power. And true power comes from you changing your own mind. And that's when you see everybody around you change. It was miraculous about how my family changed after I did. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. How my family changed after I did. Could there be a connection? So that's why the relationships that you form, I'll say this again, do you know that the intimate relationships that you form are the most important thing that you need to be the most discerning about? Because the people you form intimate relationships with are your witnesses to you, and they're always reflecting back to you what you feel about yourself. So to be around someone who's always judging you, criticizing you, condemning you, trying to change you, is a person that's saying to you all day, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you are wrong, you are wrong. Something is wrong with you, 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 something is wrong with you. And that's you telling yourself, something is wrong with me, something is wrong with me, something is wrong with me. So it came from you believing something was wrong with you, then you attracted somebody who taught you and witnesses to you, something is wrong with you. I love the fact that the physical reality is a three-dimensional reflection and mirror of my own mind. Then I don't have to guess what's going on inside my mind. What's going on inside my mind is what's going on in my life. That's what's going on inside my mind. They're the same thing. Like people say, you know, you need to look within, but if you see it correctly, even when you look out, you're looking in.
Yep.
Because out is in.
Yeah.
So if I want to know what's really going on in Roger's mind, it's all my friends. All the people I'm around, they are the representation of what's going on in my consciousness. That's why we are drawn to each other. And based on that, I got the coolest mind around.
All right.
I'm telling you, because I know some seriously cool, loving, scrumptious beings. And there was a time when it wasn't like that. When I was getting the criticism and the judgment and you ought to change and you're not enough and all of that. When I changed my mind, the people who needed me to be the way I used to be to meet their need, they left to find somebody else to meet that need. The other group of people who made the same shift I did, they shifted with me. So then I had the people who were still with me because we were going through similar shifts. And then there was the third group. The third group was simply people that I knew I needed to choose out of relationship with because it was no longer serving me or them. And that's what happens whenever you make a shift. Some people are going to leave because they need what you were giving them and they need to get it from somebody else now because you're not doing it. The second group are going to say, you know what, I'm making that same kind of shift, man, so I'm with you. I want to study with you. I want to work on this together. And the third one, you're going to have to go, you know what, I just need to choose out of this because this isn't serving me nor you. You're innocent and I'm innocent, but I'm headed in a different direction and you're headed in a different direction and we both okay. My experience is I've never had to choose out of anything. The more loving and peaceful I became around people who also didn't want love and peace, they left. Like most, it's just the opposite. In most cases, they leave. If a person who still needs conflict and drama, they're not attracted to people who want peace and love.
Yeah.
They're just not. And if you want conflict and drama, you'll always be attracted to the person that doesn't want you. The one you're always trying to convince to love you. Why don't you love me? Why don't you treat me better? Why don't you call me? Why don't you tell me how good I am? Why don't you? Because you don't want me to. That's why I'm not. You know I'm not like that, but you still want me to do it. You're not really serious about having it yourself because the minute you get serious about having it, it'll be there. So what am I doing? I'm showing you that your happiness doesn't come from me changing. I'm your guru. I'm going to show you that you need to turn within because I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change for you. I'll tell people in a minute, they got an issue with me. I said, well, good. Let's come up with a solution that will work for both of us that doesn't entail me changing one bit. And I'll work with you all night long. And they go, well, why? Because I would never want to come up with a solution for my happiness that depended on somebody else. But once you wake up, that's the last condition you want. Is that your happiness depends on somebody else changing. Because if it does, don't you see how powerless that makes you? That means you got to spend all your life, I got to try to change her so she'll make me happy. Then I got to change her so she'll make me happy. Then I got to try to change him so he'll make me happy. Well, what if I go, I'm just going to change my interpretation of all you jokers and I'm going to give myself peace. I didn't have to talk to you about it. I didn't have to discuss it with you. And I didn't have to get your cooperation. I love that.
Me too.
It makes me feel powerful. I can be happy without even having to talk to y'all about it. Woo! Somebody, okay, just a second, Chris. Somebody else said their hand up first. Anybody else? Okay, go ahead, bro.
So then I shouldn't feel bad then when I have family members who are into conflict and drama, and I'm just not interested in that, and I don't really want to connect with them.
It would be the most loving thing in the world if you gave them an example of peace. that you refuse to join into the drama is the greatest gift you could give them. You need to show them there's an alternative to the way that they're being. You could be like me. See how cool out I am? But if you join in, you should never. You must refuse to join in the suffering. Never join in the suffering. Do you know that most people form relationships so that they can suffer together? You see, I'm a miserable person and I'm looking for somebody. I need somebody bad. Okay, and then the other person's walking around saying the same thing. I'm miserable. I need somebody.
Right.
I'd be a big gift for somebody. You're the saddest miserable person in town. Like, I need a lover. So then y'all find each other. I'm miserable and you are miserable, and then we saw each other across the room, and now you're gonna hide my misery that I feel from me, about me, and I'm gonna hide the misery. You're gonna hide the misery I feel about myself, right? And I'm gonna hide the misery you feel about yourself, because now that we're together, we can forget how we felt about ourselves before we met. See, I wasn't loving myself, but I saw you. Bam! Now I can forget that I don't really love myself because you are making me feel so loved, Shannon, that I can forget that I hate my friggin' self. Because that's what I was feeling when I was all alone. That's why people don't, a lot of times don't want to be single too long, because they'll realize how they really feel about themselves. And they have nobody to blame. That's unacceptable. So you need to find somebody quick so you can blame them for what you're going through. And they can hide how you're feeling about yourself from yourself. Yeah. Because temporarily you get your sense of value from the way they're treating you. So you think you somehow healed yourself, and all you've done is hidden what you really feel about yourself from yourself. And they can't hide how you feel about yourself from yourself but a little while. So the honeymoon period is when you're playing hide and go seek really good. That's the honeymoon period. You know, oh, we're successfully hiding how we feel about ourselves from each other, because we get involved with each other so much. Oh, you so fine. You so luscious. I can't get enough of you. That's not really feeling completion from within yourself. So what does that happen? So if I'm upset with my partner, what is that? The denial of the love that's there within me that I'm not recognizing. Why do you think people are so jealous and possessive? If I don't love myself and you're helping me feel like I have love, that's a full-time job. I need you to do that all the time. You don't have time to give no love to nobody else, because that's love you're taking away from me.
Exhausting.
So I'm watching you every second to make sure, as my slave, you are consistent and loyal. I know it always gets quiet when I say stuff like that. You can always, the room always goes, you're going too far, black man. Okay, I'm serious about the real deal. I want the real deal. I want the real deal. I want real love in my life. I want love that is not based on attack and not based on guilt. And the only way I'm going to have that is to be that. Yeah. The only way I'm going to have that is to give that. And stop sitting back waiting for people to give me what I'm not giving. And then when they give it to me, then I'm going to give it back. I'm a future giver of America. You know, I'm going to give the wealth when I have the wealth. I'm going to give people love when they give it to me first. That's the way an average person is. They're suspicious. They want you to go through 900 barriers to get to them. You know, we make people work too hard for our dysfunctional love. It's ridiculous how hard we make people work for what we're about to give them. I mean, that's not fair. Because you know when you meet the person that you feel love with, because you have an abundant willingness to join. You don't have to work at it. They want to give it to you. They want to connect. Anybody you're struggling to connect with, that's the universe telling you, leave it alone. It's not for your best interest. Nobody that really loves you do you have to convince to care about you. That's your lack of love for yourself, trying to convince you that you are unlovable. That's all you're doing. It's like, I really am unlovable. See, I can't get this love from this person. I'm trying really hard to get this love from this person. But what I'm really feeling is the denial of the love that's in my life. But I'm so busy dealing with this joke, I'm not letting myself feel the love that's available to me. Because I don't think I deserve it. So I'm going to put all my attention in the denial of it. Let me tell you what I'm really thinking. Let me tell you what's really important to me. Go away. I don't want to hear about that stupid stuff that you study. That's you saying to yourself, go away. I don't want to hear about that stupid stuff that I am studying. You just do the reversal, and you'll know what you really think about yourself. You are cruel to me, I'm cruel to me. You judge all the time, I judge all the time. Everything you say to somebody else, just reverse it, and you'll know how you feel about yourself. Just reverse it. People are never kind to me. I'm not ever kind to myself. People aren't patient with me. I'm never patient with myself. That's the way you correct your perception. Do the reversal law. That's your mind you're looking at. Woo! When you first see that, when you first make that realization, you be like, oh my God, what do I do? You get a new way of looking at it. Where is it at? In about 1 billion truth teachings. This is one of them. Everybody that really wants to get serious about love, there are so many different spiritual practices out there to help you correct your perception that there's no excuse for still being miserable. Now, if you're with the person who's in that stage of their spiritual development where all they're doing is trying to limit themselves because they don't love themselves yet, and they're in the part that they're trying to prove to themselves that they're unlovable, if you meet a person like that, there's nothing you can do to change their mind because they don't want to be happy yet. They're still in their self-punishment part of the game. So if you say, let's go to counseling, let's go to a class, let's talk this out, let's study, let's do something to change our mind. Now, I ain't got time to do that stuff. Of course they don't, because they are not ready to be happy yet. They have already decided that their path is self-punishment. That they're going to punish themselves a little while longer by keeping themselves miserable. And you are not responsible for getting them to change their mind.
Thank God.
All the popcorn does not pop at the same time. But it all pops in the eternal popcorn popper. In God's popcorn popper, we all pop. But it's always got to be that first kernel, and then there's got to be the last kernel. And you might be the last kernel, but you will pop. Okay? So don't compare yourself to the popcorn that's already popped. You know, some people not ready to pop yet. And your responsibility is to know that they will pop, and be grateful that they will pop, and make sure that you pop, so that you can be an example of what a popcorn looks like.
That's right.
With butter on it. With butter on it. That's what I'm talking about. Put a little butter on you, Pat. Hey, you laughing too much. Easy. Hey, you too much like me. Woo! Are you ready for the veil of fear to disappear?
Yes!
Are you ready to start reinterpreting everything that's happening in your life so that it will attract love to you instead of fear?
Yes!
Are you ready to simplify your experience to the point that you say, I'm either feeling fear of love, I'm either feeling willingness or resistance? Are you willing to start to teach yourself that fear doesn't exist in you? Are you ready to render all of the fear in your life useless by bringing into your awareness the very thing that the fear is trying to block, which is the love? I'm feeling afraid. There's a whole lot of love around here that I'm denying. Ooh, I'm afraid in this situation. There's some love in this situation I'm denying. There's some fear in this situation. There's some freedom in this situation that I'm denying. There's some peace in this situation that I'm denying. I feel conflict. Are you in conflict? Yes. I have some peace I'm denying right now about my child. There's some peace that I'm denying between me and my child. I have conflict between me and my child. So you undermine the conflict by remembering what the conflict is trying to hide. Because if you feel the love, if you feel the peace, you're going to connect with everybody. You're going to connect with God. You're going to connect with Source, because love unites us and fear separates us. So when you want to be separate, you have to be afraid. And when you want to be joined, fear leaves. Because to join, you have to go beyond fear. How do I go beyond fear? By seeing my fear as a denial of love, which means I am witnessing to the fact that I believe love exists for me. And if I show that I believe love exists, then it will start to present itself in my life, because whatever I focus on, I create, I perceive, I experience. Thank you for listening to this much. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Whether you like it or not, give it up to yourself. Give it up to yourself. All right, I got a little thing I'm going to do before we go out. I'm going to do the financial expressions of appreciation. I would love that. Thank you so much. As a full-time teacher of this stuff, I appreciate it. Those of you who want to do one-on-ones with me, where we actually take whatever you're going through right now and I apply this to the situation that you're going through so that you can have a healing. It's called a clarity session. Then go to my website or get one of these orange sheets, www.earlpurdy.com, and it explains everything about it. Those of you watching on the internet, I'm available for phone sessions also. And thank you for all the incredible comments that that I have been receiving, and the acknowledgement and support that I have been receiving. Man, it is so, I've been having such powerful experiences of, I was funny, the day before yesterday I was asking the Holy Spirit to, like, what is it that you, because I just got 3 questions, but, you know, I asked the Creator, what did you want me to do, where do you want me to go, what do you want me to say, who do you want me to say it to? And then within 24 hours I got like 2 invitations to speak. I'm going to go to Copenhagen, Denmark.
Yeah,
and then got another invitation to go back to London and speak at another conference there and MC it.
Alright.
Whoa, brother!
So it's a rough job, but somebody has to do it. Somebody
I
has
deserve to get paid for having fun.
I deserve it. Yeah, but it takes guts, because for me to live the life that I want to live the way I want to live it, then I had to believe in myself and my connection to Source to live my life the way I was being guided, regardless of how other people felt about it and what they saw. So it's trying to please. There's 2 things you have to do if you want a transformation. You have to let go of your private thoughts and start to be more authentic and honest with people about what you're really thinking and feeling. And the second thing is stop people pleasing.
Yeah, thank you.
A people pleaser will never know their power, because they're making everything about their experience based on how somebody else feels about them and what somebody else does or says.
Yeah.
Happy people are people who follow their own light and then want their light to benefit others, because you can't give what you don't have. So I can't give you love I don't have for myself. I can't give you peace that I don't have. The old way of doing it is I'm going to please everybody else, and I'm going to heal everybody else, and I'm going to get everybody else happy. Then, after I've got everybody else happy, then finally I might start letting myself have a good time. That's absolutely backwards. You know, if you're in the desert and you need a drink of water, if I don't have a drink of water, I can't give you a drink of water. So I got to have some water before I can give you some. I have to have some love for myself before I can give you some. I have to have some joy going on inside of me. So your first responsibility is to allow yourself to be happy so that you can have some happiness to give. The world tells you sacrifice your happiness and try to make everybody else happy. And those of you who tried that know that you never satisfy anybody. Right. As a matter of fact, they just come up with more for you to do. Yeah. Like you waiting for them to finally go, you've done enough now, so you can make you happy. Do you notice it never happens? They'll come up with the next thing you need to do that you didn't quite do, that you should have done. So what I'm telling you is heresy to people who believe that love is sacrifice. You know, but for people who really want to be joyful, they hear me. They're going, okay, it's about time I let myself have the love that I want to have in order for me to be able to have something to give. Like if I wasn't joyful today, do you think I could share joy with you? If I was depressed, do you think I could share any joy right now?
No.
Yeah, brother.
How do you give up that guilt of never being able to please someone who ain't ever going to be pleased?
That's what I'm talking about.
How do you give it up in yourself, though? You ain't
Well, the way that I gave it up in myself was to be constantly reminded of who I really am. Because the way that I feel about myself that I don't like, I program myself through hearing it through repetition over and over again. You didn't just come here not loving yourself. You had to tell yourself or be told things over and over until you bought it. And so the same way you got into erroneous thinking is the same way you get out of it. Only this is the cool part, brother. It doesn't take as long to undo false thinking as it did to create it.
Oh!
You know what I'm saying? And you can see that every day. You know, it would take, what, months to build a building, but some well-placed dynamite charges will bring that building down in 30 seconds. So well-placed dynamite charges would be you giving the truth to yourself in strategic places in your mind. And then it would undermine all of those ideas that you have that limit you. And those are ideas like we heard today. You are entitled to miracles. You deserve to be paid for having fun. You deserve to have love around you. It's there already. It comes from actually applying the new way that we're talking about. So I'm going to do a quick review before we go out into the go back to the paragraph, to the paragraph, to the paragraph. There is only fear and love. There is only fear and love. Say what? There is only fear and love. Say there is only fear and love. Say what? There is only fear and love. Remind yourself there is only fear and love. So listen now. The means for removing fear is in yourself, and you can demonstrate by giving the love of fear and love are your only emotions. I say fear and love are my only emotions. Fear and love are my only emotions. Fear. Now you wonder why, like sometimes, why do I do this funky, juicy music stuff? Because I want to get it in my body. Because all of your thoughts and memories are stored in the cells of your body. So I'm putting it in my body so that it will be more than just an intellectual idea. It's time to render fear useless. Render fear useless. Render fear useless. I 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 render fear useless because fear is the denial of love. I say that fear is the denial of love. I say that fear is the denial of love. I say that fear is the denial of love. I deserve to let the fear go. I let the fear go. I let the fear go. I let the fear go. Fear is this. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. What? False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Now remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Say what? I say fear is false evidence what? Appearing real. I say it again. Fear is false evidence appearing real. I am love.
I'm love.
I am love. I am love. I appreciate you all. Have an incredible week. And may the horse be with you. Let's give it to Oz. Speaking of, yeah, we cool. Hugs are available.